Hi, Runglavan. So let's take a look at this new set of essays. The first one is about the barking dog. So let's see what you wrote to your neighbor. Dear John, I hope this letter finds you well. I am contacting you for the following reason. It has been a few months since you have adopted your new little dog from SPACA, and it is always barking too loud during the days and nights. You know our house is number 17B, behind your house and very close to your dog's room. My husband normally works the early shift, okay? And I am a graphic designer. Um, and I am a graphic designer, usually working from home. So get rid of that, get rid of I, usually working from home during the day. We are unable to get a good sleep at night, and I cannot concentrate on my job too. This is because your dog has been barking so loud. I think this problem also disturbs us, other neighbors also. I therefore recommend that you should make a proper room to keep your dog in a very quiet place, or bring the dog to the veterinary near the post office to find out if there is anything wrong or why your dog does not stop barking. If I can be of further assistance, please do not hesitate to ask. I await your prompt response. Thank you in advance. Regards. Okay. Um, this was not bad. This was pretty good. It was neutral in style, and that's fine. I mean, it's your neighbors, so it's appropriate to write like this. I mean, you had some expressions that felt a little formal, but again, it wasn't really a problem in any way. Let's see. I thought that there was a little information here that was a little repetitive. Let me show you what I mean. So you said, it is always barking too loud during the days and nights. Okay. And then you say, this is because your dog has been barking so loud. So I felt like that was a little repetitive, and you could have cleaned some of this up. In fact, you might have reorganized this paragraph a little bit so that you didn't have to be repetitive like this. So here's one suggestion. You could have combined these into one sentence. So um, you could have said, as a result of the dog's constant barking, we are unable to get a good sleep at night. And how about neither of us can concentrate on our jobs? Okay. And then you could say, I think this problem also disturbs other neighbors also. Um, so that was one way you could have done this. It doesn't really fix the fact that you said the barking so loud and barking so loud twice, but at least it makes it, I think, just flow a little better, combining both of those sentences into one. Let's see. Your recommendation was to make a proper room. Okay. This was not really the most precise. What do you mean by a proper room for the dog? Like something insulated with like sound insulation, or something further away from your home? That wasn't really clear. Okay. But I mean, it wasn't wrong. It just wasn't particularly precise or clear. Other than that, like I said, I thought it was pretty good. I'm pleased with it. Okay. So let's take a look at your task 2. Okay, this is the one about green energy. So let's see what you said here. Experts throughout both the developing and developed countries have debated the variety of advantages of green energy. What happened here? So full stop here. Here. Some people believe that green energy, get rid of the, is a serious threat to energy security. Here. However, my view is that green energy is unable to destroy the world's energy security. This essay will analyze both the facets of this proposal by using examples from Oxford University and the UK government to demonstrate, without the D, points and proof arguments. All right, this is fine. I think that the one section I had a little bit of an issue with was this right here. Just because you repeated so much of the same vocabulary from the same sentence. So, and it's here, look at the sentence. Okay. So some people believe that green energy, without the, is a serious threat to energy security. However, my view is that it cannot destroy. It's not even accurate either. I'm having a little tough time with this section right here, okay? You could have just said, however, I disagree with this notion. That would actually be perfect, okay? So, full stop, right? And then some people believe that green energy is a serious threat to energy security. However, I disagree with this notion, or I disagree with this belief. And then you don't have to reuse that same vocabulary, okay? And it's also showing showing some nice cohesion here, all right? So let's move on. On the one hand, there is ample evidence to support that natural resources to produce green energy are available not unlimitedly, but without limit, you could just say, or limitlessly, and are renewable without costs. The central reason behind this is twofold. Firstly, green energy resources such as wind, sunlight, water, tide, or geothermal heat are natural resources but need longer production process as well as the expertise and high quality equipment. All right, I'm a little confused here. So what are you trying to prove here? You're trying to prove that it's valuable and that it's good for the environment and for money, right? Let's see if that's what you're saying. Secondly, the value outweighs long-term I'm sorry, I'm confused about this. I don't know what this means. The valuable is outweigh for long-term environment benefits and less costs. I'm not really sure what that means. For example, recent investment of the UK government to install solar power hubs over England to reduce the use of gas or nuclear energy, which has created greenhouse pollution for many decades. That's not a full sentence because there's no verb here. All right, you're saying you're not telling us what this has done, okay? So a recent investment which has done this. Okay, well, what has that recent investment done? Okay, you could have just said is such a case. And now if you had said that, then it's a full sentence. But the way you have it here, it's just a fragment. Moreover, it should be taken into account that the reduced cost on each month's apostrophe S power bill has made the British very satisfied and feel safe. Therefore, it is conclusively clear that green energy is the better alternative to save costs and also reduce greenhouse gases. So obviously I had to change some of the grammar around here. Now, so here's the thing. I pretty much understood this section here, but you kind of lost me here. So I didn't understand where you said anything about the positive effects it has on the environment. Yeah, you did say something here. You said something about solar hubs and something about, what did you say? Reducing use of gas, which has created the greenhouse pollution. So, but again, the grammar was problematic, and so it made comprehension really difficult. So it wasn't particularly coherent. Okay, but I did understand this part about reducing costs, sorry. But you needed to fix the grammar here for this to make sense, okay? So, on the other hand, although there is recent research, without the A, from Oxford University shows case of mistake during production process because of unstable or lack of raw natural resources is hardly to control exact measurement as it uncountable units. All right, I don't understand this. Get rid of the although because you're not really showing us any sort of contrast here. So let's try that. And then there was some language here and some grammar that made this really incoherent. You said shows case of mistake during production because of unstable or lack of raw sources. And then I didn't understand this grammar here, is hardly to control exactly measurement. It's, you know what, I think part of it is that you're using the wrong word form. So I think sometimes you might mean hard instead of hardly. And I think you might mean exact instead of exactly, or maybe you mean measure instead of measurement. But the fact is that all of these mistakes are creating difficulty in trying to understand your meaning, okay? So I really need you to be very careful about this. I really need you to watch out, some of your grammar. Make sure that you're using the right form of these words. This is largely because it might threaten energy security occasionally. For example, oh wait, I'm sorry, I missed a sentence. Forgive me. There is a theoretical possibility that the impact of different environmental circumstances might deplete maybe the energy qualities. But then you don't want this cannot be overstated, so get rid of that. Then, this is largely because it might threaten energy security occasionally. For example, in some countries, no, for example, some countries are only able to produce, not solar system, solar power from sunlight during the 6 months of summer. Then production of energy requires gas or nuclear energy. Consistent with this line of thinking is that the country's economy would be affected. Thus, it is possible to state beyond doubt that the nuclear energy is needed is needed as the main resource to secure people's living as well as economic system. All right, I understood more of this. Yeah, there were still some mistakes, but I got through them and I was able to correct them and understand what you're trying to say. So that was okay. Now let's take a look at your conclusion. In view of the arguments and examples given, I firmly believe that the advantages of green energy outweigh the drawbacks because green energy is cheaper and safer for our world environment. It is predicted that if we maintain two energy systems as to support one another for long-term solutions, this will increasingly no, that doesn't make sense. Will increasingly economic grow. It doesn't make sense. Increasingly economic grow. See, this is what I'm talking about. It's all the wrong word form. So I'm not really sure what you're trying to say here. You've got this nice piece of grammar here trying to use this conditional, but just the rest of it becomes really confusing, okay? Honestly, if I were going to write this, I think I understand what you're trying to say. So it sounds to me like you're trying to say it is predicted that if we maintain two energy systems to support one another for long-term solutions, economic growth will continue to increase. And that's it. That's why I would have said this. All right. But again, I'm not sure if that's what you're trying to say. So work on the grammar for me a little bit. You have everything else going well. You're doing a lot of other things correctly, but I really need you to work on this grammar, all right? Because it's holding back your score. So I think this is your last set with us. I want to encourage you to sign up for more essay corrections. I'm confident that there is more work we can do, and I know that with continued work and with continued practice and feedback, you'll improve, okay? So I really want to encourage you to sign up for that extra package, okay? See if that's something you want to do. I know you've got some time before your exam, so let's continue working and helping you progress. So I'll be waiting to hear from you. Good luck.